So, can we start?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. Today we will have a dialogue titled 21st Century Skills for the Youth with Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar and our wonderful panelists from the Netherlands. My name is Julika Marijn. I'll be the host during this session. On behalf of all of us, Gurudev, thank you to give us the opportunity to talk with you on this relevant topic. Today we have a dialogue on the future of education. Our next generation will face a lot of challenges. And you, Gurudev, are by far the best and inspiring teacher that I know. And your projects on education are everywhere, all around the globe. And as you may know, in an attempt to prepare the youngsters for the fast changing and digital world, the 21st century skills were introduced as a guidance by educators, business leaders, academics, and governmental agencies. Gurudev, we have a lot to talk about today, and we have a tight schedule. So let's start. Our first panelist I would like to introduce to you is Doreen Zevenbergen. And Doreen is policy advisor of the Dutch Inspectorate of Education, and she worked for the Ministry of Education, Culture and Science. She is responsible for the state of education, which means that she reports on a yearly basis on trends and developments in the educational system. And in her book, The Insidious Crisis, she asks the question why education is not improving. So welcome, Doreen. Are you there, and can you share your first question?
I am, yes. Thank you very much. Hello, very nice to speak to you today. I will get right on to my first question. As Julika said, we're here, of course, to talk about the 21st century skills that we believe that students today should be taught as preparation for the future. I thought it was interesting. We were sent a list beforehand with a number of 21st century skills, including technology skills, social skills, creativity, leadership. And it just occurred to me that depending on who you asked, the list of what are the most important 21st century skills can vary quite a lot. And I'm a bit worried that there doesn't seem to be much consensus on which skills, 21st century or otherwise, are the most important to be teaching in schools today to prepare youngsters for the challenges of the future. So my question to you would be, what do you believe to be the most important 21st century skills? And also, how do you think these 21st century skills will help address pupils of today to cope with the challenges of tomorrow more effectively than generations are doing right now, based on what they were taught in schools?
No, lovely. Nice talking to you. This is a very, very important topic that we're all discussing today about the future of education. Post-COVID-19, I think more and more online programs is what is going to take the front seat, at least for next couple of years. Though we would be able to control the spread of the virus, the fear in the minds of the people still will linger on. It will continue for some time, at least year and a half. What do you think? Don't you think so? So online education is something that is gaining popularity. Here in India, we have 750 schools, and then we have a university and colleges. Everywhere we have implemented online education now. This is for the first time, that they are able to give in our university. Kids are giving exams online, which has happened here before. Having said this, there are some advantages, some serious disadvantages. When children are not able to, people are not able to be together, learn from each other, it's all virtual. We live in a very virtual world. That is not good either. It is not going to help in developing one's personality. So it is very important that we pay attention to development of personalities in children, they should have great adaptability. What we see in formal education, we don't pay much attention in training our young people in adaptability skills, in disaster management skills, and in emotional intelligence. This is something very important. Our children, either they block their emotions and they walk uh, like objects, material objects, or they are so vulnerable to the emotions, small things just shakes them, they get upset. So we need to give them that fine tuning of sensibility on one side, to be sensible to others, at the same time to be sensitivity. They're sensitive to others and sensible in their perception, in their concepts, in their ideas and opinions, and how they can also see other people's opinion as well. So this sort of training in emotional intelligence, I would say, or spiritual wisdom of being centered, come what may, and take challenges and move on. This, I think, is very much needed. Along with, of course, they need artificial intelligence. Once the capacity of a person is increased, then they can choose whatever field they want to, they will excel in it. This is what my experience.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji. Yes. We move on to the next panelist, and that's Claire Boonstra. She's the founder of Operation Education, a foundation that enables educational leaders to transform into change makers who take responsibility for changing the educational system. And her purpose is to unleash the infinite potential in people, starting with education. And in addition, she's been nominated as a young global leader by the World Economic Forum. And she's the author of the book, Breaking the Habits in Education. Welcome, Claire. Can you just move on straight to your question, please?
Yes, absolutely. Building onto your previous answer, the skills you just mentioned. However, in our current systems, we are optimized to efficiency, to predictability, controllability, measurability. Simply, we don't want it to go wrong. However, our world, as you just also mentioned, is increasingly volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, and also the things you just mentioned, we want them also to go well. The question, how do you see that we can organize this, and how can we justify doing it well, the things that you just mentioned in our current society?
Yeah, this is a very good point. The children are trained in Europe not to make mistakes and be perfect, be precise in anything they do. This is very good. It's needed. This character, this quality is very much needed. I would say more in the Asia and all these third world countries, we would need this type of discipline. At the same time, there is certain freedom of expression, certain sense of freedom within the boundaries that you find in the Eastern cultures, in the third world countries. People are more relaxed. They're not so uptight about making mistakes. Even if they make mistakes, they say, okay, I learned by making mistakes. So this thing we can introduce. I think that could be a very good East-West combination. The East must learn more of the discipline. The West should learn that it's okay to make mistakes, because through mistakes you learn better. So that type of confidence in students might take them into a more open and free and strong personality. I feel that way. We need a combination of both. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gurudev, we're also joined by Rolf Winters. He's an internationally operating consultant, coach, and speaker in the field of leadership. And his experience in the boardrooms of multinationals led him into the quest for an alternative to the straitjacket in which large companies and their leaders operate. And for 5 years, he and his family lived with indigenous tribes to learn from their sustainable way of life. And that resulted in the award-winning film Down to Earth. And Rolf now applies what he learned about sustainable leadership to help generate a new generation of wise leaders that can take this world forward. Rolf, are you there? Can you ask your question, please?
I'm here. Well, my question obviously is about leadership. And in the 5 years that we lived with these indigenous communities, we met so many wise leaders in almost every community where we were. And I started to ask myself, why is it that, you find these wise leaders here and in our modern world, there's hardly any wise leaders to be found. And tuning into that, I started to realize that a big cause of this wise leadership amnesia in our modern world is to do with our educational system. Because it does exactly the opposite as what you see happening in those communities, where people at a young age are recognized having a leadership potential. And they're exactly that kind of children that in our modern system are getting squashed. It's the highly sensitive children, like you said, who have an emotional intelligence, who have this spiritual connectedness, who have this sensitivity. Now, I think we are blessed everywhere in the world with this wave of highly sensitive children. But in our system, their needs are not met. What is your message to those children? What is your message to the parents of those children to cope with a system that cannot meet these needs for the development of those children?
The system, actually, any system anywhere in the world need reappraisal time and again. We cannot just hold on to one system and say we'll go for this forever. Every 5-10 years, we need to relook at the system and adopt that according to the situation, according to the current social psychology that's happening. The social psychic of people keep changing. So, one generation back, how we used to think as children is not there right now. This time, children are much more global in their thinking, in their approach. They have a huge arena of knowledge that is accessible to them. They can get everything at the tip of their fingers. So, time and again, we must review our policies. And accordingly, we must give them suggestions, counseling, techniques that would help them to, be more focused, more mindful. I would recommend that people should teach them some breathing exercises because our breath is connected to our presence of mind. And breathing exercises and meditation would make a very big difference. See, our youth are suffering from two extremes. Either they get so depressed, or they are such perfectionists and they get depressed. Or on the other hand, they get so agitated and aggressive. These two extremities are aggression on one side and depression on the other side is clogging the health of the world as such now, especially the young people. So we need to give them that perfect balance in life and self-confidence, self-appraisal, and tools and techniques to manage their own emotions. It is natural to feel angry, natural to feel jealous. It's quite natural to get upset, but you should know how to get out of it. This neither at home nor in school we teach them. So they sit with all these negative emotions and leave it to the nature, to God to take care of it. That doesn't work. So we need to teach them how to manage their own mind, their own emotions, how to be more positive, I think that is very much needed. And educationalists around the world will have to sit back and think and rethink modalities. If 40% of the European school teachers are depressed, this is high time we have to think about what we can do with the teachers, how we can give them training to bring their spirits up and high. Don't you think so?
I totally agree with you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Gurudev, for your answer. Then I'd like to move to David Schenk. He's our next panelist, and his question was concerning this. He's working in a school and founder of the School for School project, which is a training platform that offers a structured overview of the training courses offered. And this ensures teachers to make better choices for their personal development. David, can you hear us, and can you...
Yes. Thank you very much. My question is, students and teachers experience a high workload in the Netherlands, and this is partly due to the pressure performance that is placed on our society. And my question is, how can we help students and teachers to deal with stress?
This is our specialty. This is what we have been doing. Thank you for asking me this question, David. Stress is too much to do, too little time and no energy. This is the formula for stress. Now, to get rid of this stress, there are several techniques are there. I would usually recommend make use of their breath work. Your breathing and meditation. These two things will help them to reduce their stress. Another thing would be to shift the context of life. When you have broader vision about your life, small things don't bother you so much. But if your vision is narrow, even small little things can throw you off the balance. So broadening one's vision is number one. Second is learning some breathing exercises technique. They both, in fact, they are very complementary. They should do both. Breathing technique, meditation should do, and as well see life from a broader perspective. See, in India, we have many top institutions where students, over small things like getting low marks or not being able to get the number one rank or higher grades, they jump and commit suicide. This has happened here. So this is just because they have not seen life or have vision of life beyond their education or their getting the grades. This is very important, or getting into a relationship. In schools and college, they get into fight, they get into relationship, and they get depressed. So we can help them to come out of it by teaching them a little bit of yoga, some meditation, and wisdom about life. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gurudev. We move on to the next panelist. That's Janine de Ridder. She is a director at Foundation Kikit, and Kikit aims to build resilience among the youth through open and honest conversations on relevant themes. They reach out to more than 10,000 students per year and hundreds of thousands through their online campaigns. And Kikit partners with the Ministry of Education, Culture and Science, and many others. Janine, can you please ask your question to Gurudev?
My question is, I'm worried about kids who are spending a lot of their time on the internet, playing aggressive games and watching, for instance, influencers who are promoting a material world. Do we really have to be afraid about the impact of this behavior? And how can we guide, as parents, as teachers, our kids in this digital time? And what can we do about this topic in general?
It's a very challenging question. Of course, how to limit the internet time from the children, because they are doing too much. Even young kids are spending a lot of time. At other times, I would have said, okay, not more than 2 or 3 hours on internet for kids. But now in this lockdown time, we cannot advocate that. If you take that also out, because they cannot go out and play, now you cannot go also on the internet, they will get very cluttered and frustrated. But we have to create an awareness of how our central nervous system gets affected, very badly affected by using too much of the internet, too much of gadgets. If you get up, wake up with the iPad on and then go to bed with iPad, it definitely impacts our nervous system in a very, very bad way. We have seen children, their autonomous nervous system is getting affected, they are not able to walk properly because of this. We see many of those cases. So a little bit of awareness among the young people about the ill effects of overusing anything. We cannot say, no, you go back to the old days. No, you have to use technology, but teaching them to limit it, and then make real-time friends, not spend virtual time the whole time, having friends in the virtual media. Real time with people, festivals, time and again, youth festivals will bond our young people, come together and, see life from a very different angle.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Thank you.
Yes. The next panelist we have is Tanja Jatna Nansing. She's a former Dutch politician of the Dutch Labour Party, focusing on higher education and science policy. And currently, she's the chairperson of the Amsterdam Southeast District, managing portfolios, youth crime prevention, care and education. Tanja, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Namaste, Guruji. As a district chairman of Amsterdam Southeast, we have 90,000 inhabitants, 180 nationalities, and we were already confronted with a lot of impacts, like we had a lot of issues like low incomes, poor jobs, and a setback in education. And now the crisis on top of that emphasizes that we do need a change. And in your opinion, what is the call of time for us in terms of education, and especially in a multicultural society which has its own defects?
Multicultural society has its big advantages as well. It creates a lot of tolerance among people, brotherhood among people. It in fact adds richness to each other's life. Rather, being in a monoculture society, a multicultural society has more open and more diverse and less prejudice in the society, number one. Second is, now the world is going through a very tough time, big economic challenge throughout the world. This is the time, this is rebuilding of our economy in a very new manner. That's what is needed, and that's what is going to happen, in fact. So we need to prepare ourselves and our population to adapt and to skill towards a new economy. See, I would say this is nothing short of World War III. After World War II, like Germany and many parts of Europe were totally destroyed, but there was resilience in people. They all came together, they rebuilt it, and built a very robust economy, much better than what it was before.
Yeah.
I think the same will repeat now after this pandemic. There will be a different discourse, a very different discourse on economy. So people will have to start thinking in different ways. and adapt new skills and be prepared to start things from scratch. You know, if there is enthusiasm, if there is full of vigor and vitality and enthusiasm to do something new, something more, we will definitely be able to do it. So
Thank
we need to bring in that sense of rebuilding from scratch to people. You know, not sit and brood over what happened in the past or how our economy has crashed, has crushed, and all the whole thing. Instead of thinking negative, we need to reorient ourselves for a new beginning. With it's like, you know, children build castles in the sand, and then you destroy it and you start rebuilding new again. So it is a sort of game to rebuild our whole economy.
I like the answer. Thank you so much.
Yes, that's a beautiful answer, Gurudev. Thank you. Okay, we move to our last panelist. That's Don Seder. And he is a lawyer, a speaker, and a strong influencer for the youngsters and city councillor in Amsterdam. And he attempts to build bridges between the youngsters and the government. And he is a member of the advisory council of the VU University of Amsterdam. Don, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here. As a lawyer, I'm seeing a lot of kids, especially in deprived neighborhoods, who grew up with the experience that they are being wronged by teachers, by the police, by society in general. And as you were talking about adaptability, I was wondering, how can we use education to make sure that children who grew up in deprived neighborhoods how can we use education to combat this feeling of injustice, which sometimes actually is true. So that's something I'm seeing, and I'm looking forward to hear your perspective on that.
Yes, you know, the incidences of such discrimination and disparity do happen in the world, but we should not take it as a very common phenomenon all the time or intention behind the whole system. We must see that our people, our young people of all different backgrounds, race, religion, culture, don't lose the faith in the system. If they lose faith in the system, they get shaken up. There will be sporadic events. There will be people who are not so conscious. There will be people who want to instigate or who themselves are stressed, and they will only behave in a manner which is not sensitive, and which is not good for others. But we must make sure our children, young people, don't take it in their heart. And for example, if a particular officer, a police officer, or a particular teacher has misbehaved, they don't blame that on the entire police force. They don't get paranoid about the entire school system and drop out of the schools. This is the danger that our whole world is facing. Here we all have to come together, reassure them, that there are a lot of goodness in society. We should lift their eyes towards good people in society. There's a lot of good people who are ready to jump in to help each other. If this confidence, if these examples are in their mind and heart, they won't go in any wrong way, nor will they be wronged, and nor will they have the paranoia or fear about it. So a normal functioning of the mind can be resumed from these extreme emotions of you know, self-deprivation or victimization, victim consciousness or culprit consciousness. Yeah, we have to lift them above the victim consciousness. That is very, very important. And again here, introspection and meditation will all help, you know. Yeah, because in society we cannot expect so much perfection. You can't expect everyone to be in that mindset where they honor everybody, see everyone equally. People have prejudices. Many different type of prejudice still exist in society. So we cannot take those few rare examples and impose it on the entire society, which will be detrimental to one's growth.
Thank you, Gurudev. Yeah, that's a very interesting answer. Do we have time for more questions for you, or should we move on? Because we have many questions for you.
2 more minutes I can spare, yeah.
Okay,
Then
fantastic.
we'll go into meditation, yeah.
Good. Janine, can I pass it on to you?
Yes. More and more young people are getting depressed. These people living their life more and more online. The world on the internet is not always as it is really is. Other people look more successful, prettier, they have more money. How can we learn or show them this is not the real world? And says a little about the feelings of real beauty. How do we guide them so they grow up as strong people who are happy with who they are?
This is very, very important, you know. That is why we designed this course called Happiness Workshop. In this workshop, we teach people, we teach them to look into themselves, analyze, you know, take a look at themselves and analyze what is that they want, where do they want to go, what makes them happy, you know, what is happiness. These are the things that one need to pay attention. But unfortunately, in our education system, we don't put this, we don't give them a vision. Young people, when they have vision in their life, you know, they put all their energy and move in that direction. See, as recently, many young people have stood up for the environment because they were given this one idea, this universe, the world belongs to you. You should take care of the environment. Suddenly there is a wave in the world that young people now want to take care of the planet Earth. They are not so consumeristic in their attitude. There is a difference that is coming up. So I would say we must give them a vision, a long-term vision. You want to be a great scientist, you want to be a good lawyer, you want to be a good doctor, you want to contribute to the world. In what way? You want to be a good politician. So as long as they have a vision, you know, their energy starts flowing in that, and then they don't get into you know, other stuff. That is something that teachers can help them to find their passion. We need passion and compassion in our kids. These two things, if we can successfully implant, which is already there. You simply, even implant is a wrong word. We say they're already there. You need to invoke them. You need to invoke the passion and compassion in them. They can be great citizens of our world.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yes.
Wonderful. Nice being with you all. Nice being with you.
Thank you, Gurudev, for having us. And thank you, all the beautiful panelists.
Tulika, you did a good thing. Thank you. Wonderful. Enjoy yourself. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Now I'll be leading into meditation. Those of you who like to join, you may continue. Today in the Forbes magazine, there is a research paper that appeared and says how meditation is impacting our brain in such a positive manner. The benefits of meditations are all spoken thereof very nicely. Anyway, I know this happening last 40 years. I've been teaching meditation and people are having such big transformations through meditation. So let us do meditation now. Let's sit comfortably, easily, with our spine erect and body relaxed. You can have less light if you prefer, preferably at your home, but that is secondary. Now let us sit with our spine erect, body relaxed, eyes closed. Just imagine a string passing through the center of your body. From the base of the spine, imagine there is a string that is going all the way to the ceiling of the room or hall you are sitting. Let's keep our attention on the central string, a silver string from the floor to the ceiling, in which our body is like a bead. You may find some difference between the left side and the right side of your body. As you pay your attention on the central string, the body starts balancing itself. The right and left sides will start balancing. Just imagine you are also breathing in and out, breathing through the string. As you breathe in, you are taking your attention to the ceiling. As you breathe out, your breath is coming back to the floor. As you breathe in, take your attention to the top of the head and beyond to the ceiling. Hold the breath, and as you breathe out, let the mind and the breath come down like a shower back to the ground. As though the breath is pumped up to the ceiling, and when it coming down, while coming down, the breath is coming back to the floor like a shower. Let's continue this a few more times. Breathe in, hold and let go. Like the fountain which pumps the water up and it comes back like a shower. Your breath is taking your attention to the ceiling and you're coming down, comforting your own body. Breathe in, take your attention all along your spine to the ceiling, hold the breath and let go and let the attention come down to your head, shoulders and onto the ground. Our atmosphere have lot of cosmic rays. Our atmosphere is filled with cosmic rays. They are all showering on our head. There is a shower of cosmic rays on our head. Let every cell of our brain be open to receiving this tremendous energy that's being poured on us by nature. Let's breathe in and take our attention to the ceiling and let go. As you breathe out, come back to the ground, showering your whole body with relaxation. Let us relax the periphery of our head. Relax the frontal lobe. Then right side of the brain, relax the right side. Back of the brain, relax the back side of your brain. And relax the left side of your brain. Top of the brain. Let our brain get deep rest. We have used and used and used it too much. Let us rejuvenate every cell of our brain by giving it a deep conscious rest. Let every cell relax, blossom, and rejuvenate itself. We should have compassion for our own brain, our own mind, and our own body. Let us bring our attention down to the center of our head. Relax your cheeks, your ears, your jaws. Often our stress gets stored in our jaws. Let us keep our attention on our cheeks and on our jaws and relax them. Let's come down to our throat and neck and relax all the muscles, tissues, glands that are present in this region. Let's relax our vocal cord. They all deserve a deep conscious rest and appreciation. Every cell of your body is looking for an appreciation from you. Give it. Give them their due. Now, appreciate every cell of your body. Let's come down to our shoulders and arms. Relax our thorax region. Let go of all your efforts. Simply relax and repose in yourself. Meditation is an art of relaxing, art of doing nothing. Whatever sensations are there in the body, just let them be there. Pleasant, unpleasant sensations, if they arise, just let them be. Let go of all your effort. Let go of all the imaginations. and let go of even the instructions. Just relax. This moment, there is nothing to do and nothing to know either, learn either. Just relax. You are peace. You are peace. Notice the changes that are occurring in your brain and body. Let go of all your efforts. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. Keep a big smile on your face and allow the smile to percolate through the whole body. And slowly and gradually You may open your eyes.
Welcome.
Welcome to today's interaction with Gurudev. Our guest is Colombian model, actress, and television presenter Carolina Guerra. In 2005, she was chosen to represent the nation's capital as Miss Bogota. She's one of the Latin American women with the largest international projection. She began working at an early age of 17 for MTV, and since then she has participated in successful shows across Europe, the United States, such as David Goya's Da Vinci's Demons and Warner Brother and TNT's Animal Kingdom. She made her English language debut with The Dam, where she shared credits with Peter Fasinelli and Sophia Myles, a film distributed by IM Global. She has hosted Colombia's Next Top Model. As a public figure, Carolina has always shown a deep sense of involvement with the political, ecological, and social conversation in her beloved Colombia, and is currently leading important charitable efforts for the betterment of communities in need. Welcome, Carolina, to this interaction with Gurudev.
Hey, Gurudev, thank you so much. How are you?
I'm very good, Carolina. How are you?
I mean, I'm the happiest I've ever been. And it was so amazing that we meditated before. So my heartbeat went a little bit calmer, a little bit slower. It is such an honor to be able to talk to you. And it is such a joy to be able to share this with everyone else, especially in my country, Colombia.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful country.
I know. It's a great country. And I know you've been there many times. I know you know a lot about what's affecting us and what makes us beautiful as well and powerful. But we'll talk about that a little later. Guruji, I was thinking about what to ask you, how to open this conversation. And there's so many questions in my head. There's so many topics that I would like to ask you. But I want to start with the most simple thing. It just suddenly hit me last night when I was thinking about it. I want to start talking about the person that is most important to me, most important in my life, and that is my mother. My mother used to tell me every day almost that all the problems in the world, whichever was the root or the reason of them existing, they've shared a common root, and that was the lack or the absence of love. Do you agree? What do you think? My mother, she's watching, no pressure.
No, she's correct. She's correct. She's absolutely correct. You know, lack of understanding of love. Not that there is lack of love. Love is always there. Love cannot disappear. It gets covered. It gets buried underneath. So it doesn't manifest, it doesn't show. That is where the trouble begins. Yes.
The lack of understanding of love.
Correct, correct.
Okay. So Guruji, as an artist, I have to ask you, I cannot imagine my life without art in its various forms and its various manifestations. But I can certainly say that people couldn't imagine this quarantine without arts, without having a book, without watching a movie, without singing or listening to a song. I want you to elaborate. I want you to tell me, what is the importance of art in humanity and in times of crisis?
Art is something that nobody can take it away from you. It's your personal wealth. Wherever you are, you can enhance it, you can express it, you can develop on it, and you can rediscover many forms of arts. So art is simply appreciation of what is, appreciation of beauty. So This time, lockdown time, I would encourage everyone to engage in some or other form of arts. If someone is a musician, they should start painting. If someone is a painter, they should start writing songs. If they are doing that, they should start dancing. At home, you should develop any form of art. Even cooking is an art.
Absolutely.
In fact, even watching our own emotions is an art. How your emotions change the moment you see someone whom you like, and in next moment you see someone whom you don't like, your emotions start playing colors within you. And watching these changing colors of emotion itself is an art. So life, when it is observed, appreciated, it becomes art of living.
I was just going to ask you that. What is the art of living?
Appreciating life. We appreciate all the accessory to life. We forget to appreciate life itself. You need accessories, no doubt,
Yeah.
but appreciating life itself is art of living. Yeah.
So, Guruji, there are many, many paths to one destination in this art of living. And however that looks, however that may look for people, whether you name it God or universe or Mother Earth, whether you practice Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, or even if you're agnostic, meditation and the teachings of breathing is present. It's everywhere in the whole entire spectrum of practices and beliefs. It's actually so engraved in our nature that whenever we are frustrated, for example, we naturally go to calm down, to center. When a player, it's a soccer player, before he kicks the penalty, the last thing we see him doing is, so we do it. It's like a natural reset button, right? I would love you to elaborate a little bit for those of us who are here now that maybe are not so good at meditating, or maybe have still some doubts of what does that do for us. I would love for you to tell us and elaborate what are those transformational values and of meditation and breathing.
See, we need to look at our own life. Our life has 7 layers, seven components to it: the body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego, and the self.
Yeah.
So, understanding a little bit about all these 7 layers of our existence takes us a long way into the road of happiness. So, it makes us happy, it makes us comfortable. That is why this education is needed. Just imagine someone never had a chance to learn how to brush their teeth. In the teenage, they may not have all the teeth, you know.
Yeah.
Even in the teenage, they would have lost all the teeth.
Right.
So, from childhood, we have been taught how to brush our teeth, right? This is dental hygiene. Same way, mental hygiene is what we need to learn. We get frustrated, that is natural. We get excited, that is natural. We get upset, that is natural. But how to get back to ourselves? How to calm the mind down? How to find happiness again? This nobody teaches, neither at home, nor in school, nor in any place of worship. That is where this wisdom, this knowledge about breathing, about meditation, helps you to find your inner peace. Yeah, and it is common to all religion. You may follow Buddhism, you may follow Islam, you may be Catholic or Protestant or a Hindu, doesn't matter. Whatever you do, that is different. And maybe you speak different languages, you are from different nationalities. That doesn't matter. Like soccer ball, when you kick the soccer ball, you could be from any nationality. It just
Exactly.
goes to the goal, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't, soccer ball doesn't say, I am a Latino, so only then I will go. If a North American kicks the ball, I will not. No, it is common. If there is a soccer game between Colombia and Brazil, and the ball, like the ball is a common thing, rules are common. Similarly, our inner faculties of our emotions, our well-being is what we need to attend to, and that which helps you to attend to these faculties, this inner, that is what I would call a spirituality.
Amazing. That was a great example. You gave actually an example not too long ago, if I'm not wrong, it was yesterday, and I would like to elaborate on that. What is the difference between religion and spirituality?
See, religion comes with your birth. You are born into a religion. Your name is according to religion. Your wedding goes according to religion. Till your death, even after your death, all the prayer meeting, everything happens by religion. Right?
Yeah.
And spirituality is concerning your feelings, how you feel, how you know, how you get connected to the universe, how much compassion you have expressed in your life, how much love you have in you, how happy you are. This is all about spirituality, how intelligent you are, how sharp you are, how accommodative you are, how much compassion you have expressed in your life. This is all spirituality.
I loved
Learning about spirit, learning about the self, learning about consciousness. This is spirituality. Yeah.
Right. You said something about a banana.
Yes. I would say spirituality is the banana and religion is the banana skin. If people throw the banana away and holding on to the skin, it has no value. Right? So every religion wants everyone to be happy, compassionate, kind, and intelligent, and that's what spirituality brings to you.
Absolutely. Guruji, part of having this opportunity, part of the joy is, as I said at the beginning, being able to share. And so I wanted to share the privilege of talking to you with friends, with family, and people that follow me on my social media. So I asked them to send me a couple questions, and I've selected some. And this is the first one that I want to share with you.
Yeah.
How to introduce kids to spirituality?
Oh,
that's a good
see,
one.
kids below 7 or 8 years, they don't need any introduction. They are spiritual. You need to learn from them. Make them, give them a larger exposure to nature. That is good enough. But afterwards, we can start with teaching them some dance, some music, some exercise. Yoga would be very good. Yoga exercise will be very, very good for them.
What do you think it's a good age, if there's any, to teach a kid how to meditate or how to do yoga, for example?
I would say around 10 years of age, 8 to 10, depending on their mindset. After 10 years of age, we can teach them.
For yoga or meditation, or both?
Meditation also.
Meditation. Yeah. Okay. I have a nephew. He's younger than that, but he's been meditating already. So I think one thing that I wanna get from that is we don't have to teach them. We have to learn from them. If any.
When they're very young, they will be a good yoga teacher. A baby from 3 months to 3 years, they can teach you all yoga exercises.
Well, yeah, of course. There's actually a post called Happy Baby. So we're mimicking what they do.
They do.
Unbelievable. Okay, Guruji, what is imagination?
What is imagination?
Yes.
Imagination is moving from where you are to where you want to be. Imagination is planning into the unknown.
Planning into the unknown.
Unknown, yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. Guruji, what's the relationship between peace and silence?
Well,
Together.
well, peace can also have dynamism. Silence is the stillness that peace definitely has, but it's little. Silence is when the peace is consolidated, you can call it as silence. When the silence start getting into activity without getting upset, without getting ruffled, you can call it still in peace but being dynamic.
Guruji, changing a little bit subject. I mean, we have to talk about the moment we're going through as in humanity. We have to talk about this crazy pandemic situation we're at. What I've learned, what has most resonated with me during this pandemic is, without a doubt, the power of the individual. If you think about it, this virus, whatever your theory is, where it started with one person. And then one person went to another one, and the domino effect of each of those interactions resulted affecting the entire world. So what I want to say is, one person can make the difference. And what each of us do really, really matters. Sometimes we get overwhelmed with there's so many people in the world. What I do doesn't really matter. It absolutely does. And that realization really, really, really hit me, and is something that the pandemic has taught me, and something that's going to stick with me forever. I would love for you to share, what do you think is that blessing in disguise, or the biggest lesson for humanity of this pandemic?
Yes, the pandemic has forced individuals to look within, see life from a bigger context. Yeah? Otherwise, we have been on rat race for so long, we didn't know what we were doing. It's like a gentleman was on the horseback, and the horse kept going round and round the same square. So people asked him, "Where are you going?" He said, "I don't know, ask the horse." So like that, our life was going without aim, without a goal, without a vision. Now, this pandemic has somehow forced everybody to look back, sit back, and look within and think about it. And on the other side, it, as you've correctly said, it's each one of us influence a great deal. I know one person who meditates spreads so much positive vibration around him or her. It spreads to everybody, right? See, a few terrorists made everyone remove their shoes after 9/11. Just it's done by a few bunch of terrorists. What they made the entire globe to remove their shoes in the airports. You might be remembering before that, we were never asked to remove shoes in the airport. There was not so many frisking. So
I never saw it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, a few people made everyone remove their shoes in all the airports. That means individuals do have power. If they can do wrong things, they can also do good things.
Exactly.
If one individual want to do good things, they can spread goodness around the world.
There's no small action, and this is absolutely what I wanted to hear when I think people wants and should listen to. What you do matter, and we all share a huge responsibility because we all live in this planet, and we must all take care. What is the most effective way of practicing activism, Guruji?
Activism can be practiced. Actually, you cannot practice activism. It's a spontaneous outcome of you, you know. When there is enthusiasm and there is energy in you, that simply gets expressed in your action. And here, I would say one thing that one has to bear in mind is do it with a calm and centered mind. Often we find activists are rattled inside,
Yes.
they're restless, they are taking a big toll on their own health. They would do much better job if they meditate in the morning and evening, and then they become they take on to the activism rest of the day. They will be much more centered and they will not regret on the actions they take.
Wow. I'm writing that down. Thank you, Guruji. So talking a little bit of in the line of the pandemic, when we were confronted with this global pandemic and the world was able to mobilize fairly quickly and in most cases, not all effectively, to mitigate the risk with the pandemic, why do you think the world hasn't been able to mobilize in the same effective way with a much bigger threat when we have been presented with overwhelming evidence that man-made climate change is in fact the most catastrophic threat that humanity has faced? Why haven't we been able to face that with the same determination?
It's the greed of a few people who hold power, our lack of vision of those people who are in the power. They think it is not that important. Only economy of the nation or the country is more important than environment. That's an old thinking, the old thinking. But now this pandemic has forced everybody to be in, and irrespective of the economy, and the environment is getting rejuvenated by itself. I'm sure even in Colombia, nature must be enjoying itself. Birds must have come back to Bogota. And anyway, you have beautiful mountains in the heart of Bogota with so much of fauna and flora.
We have everything. We've been blessed with such a lush and biodiverse country. Yeah, it's amazing, and it's all coming more alive than ever, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, I wanna expand on that and of the greed and the concept of wealth. And this is a conversation question that I had with my friend Paula. How does society, how do we as a society redefine and reimagine the concept of wealth to extend it beyond the confines of it being solely monetary? How do we expand that concept of true wealth into something far reaching, something more inclusive?
This pandemic has already said to people, made it very clear, your health is more important than wealth.
Absolutely.
So if you keep giving prominence to health, not just physical health, both physical, mental, and emotional health, then we have done. Rest of the things will take care. If there is passion and compassion in our behavior, we don't need anything else. Our wealth we will be able to create, we will be able to share, and we will be able to, intelligently, organize what needs to be organized in the society.
Guruji, in the world we live in has been so sharply divided along political, class, racial, and religious lines. And those divisions are often exploited and reinforced by our so-called political leaders. And at least not in my lifetime, there's never been a greater need to find a common ground. What do you think are those steps that people can take towards seeing far past those lines, to reconnect with what we share, which is our humanity?
Younger generation.
Yes.
Younger generation should get into politics. Younger generation should get into economic arena right away. They need not wait for one generation to finish their job, but they should jump now. Young people should take more responsibility, like they're doing now for environment. A lot of young people are so passionate about saving the environment around the globe. In the same way, they should take responsibility of uniting people rather than dividing them. Yeah. And for that, we need to educate them. We need to give them different type of self-development programs. That's what in Art of Living we are doing. We have developed 57 different type of courses, right from corporates to the prison inmates. We give them programs so that their life become free from stress. They're able to think very clearly, and they get enthusiasm to serve and be part of change, social change, all that. Yeah.
Guruji, I cannot end this conversation without asking you about my beloved country, about Colombia, who I know you hold dearly to your heart as well, and for which I'm very deeply grateful. You've been going for the last, correct me if I'm wrong, 5 years, take more or less, to
Yes.
Colombia. You were very involved in the whole process of the signing of our peace agreement. You facilitated the most, in my opinion, the most powerful and meaningful encounter between the members of the FARC and the victims. You facilitated that process that was definitely a huge step towards reconciliation and towards peace. You said yes to peace. You urged us to say yes to peace. What was your take on Colombia then? How do you see Colombia now? Where are we going? Why has it been so difficult for us to accept and to walk towards peace?
Well, you will be in a better position to judge because you are there all the time. I wouldn't like to comment on the political developments, but one thing I would say, I see tremendous progress in Colombia. I went for the peace agreement time, and then I think last year or so when I was there, I see the airports buzzing with people and big airports, so many new developments. See, that's what I say, prosperity comes with peace. When the peace happened there, and you can see prosperity coming up like anything. Such huge development in such short time, in 3-4 years time, is really, really something that one can appreciate. It's a model for the whole world to look into it. At the same time, I would like more and more people to understand and not go back to the old days when there was conflict. We need more and more conscious people like you who put the balm on the wounds and keep healing them. It's like a fabric that gets torn here and there, but we had to keep them together. We had to keep stitching them. And I'm sure young people of Colombia are all for peace, and they will continue this process of peace and reconciliation for time to come.
Yes, yes to that, Guruji. Guruji, I know we have very little time left. And so now that we're talking about Colombia, and you may laugh about what I'm going to say, but I'm not very good at speaking in Hindi, but I want to say something. Shubh Vilambit Janandin. Did I say?
Yeah,
I know it was your birthday not too long ago, and I wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday. And a little bird told me that you really, really like this song that is called La Tierra del Olvido by a singer, Carlos Vives. And I have the little surprise for you, which I want to share right now.
Ravi Shankar, gracias a mi amiga Carolina, puedo
Oh.
una canción, le regalo de cumpleaños, desearle mucha salud, mucha alegría. Como la luna que alumbra por la noche los caminos, como las hojas al viento, como el sol espanta el frío, como la tierra la lluvia, como el mar espera el río, así espero tu regreso
A la tierra del olvido.
Tú tienes mi corazón.
Yo te quiero más que a mi vida porque sin tu amor. Yo te quiero más que a mi vida. Happy belated birthday, Guruji.
Yes, te amor. Muchas gracias, te amor.
Muchas gracias, Guruji. Jai Gurudev.
Gurudev.